ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to be talking about something called simple interest. There is something that you'll learn about next year in algebra that is called compound interest, and that's a little bit more of a complicated formula. But anyway, this is also, one of the times when our formula part equals percent times whole does not apply because we have an additional piece here. So we're talking about interest is the amount of money that's paid on a loan, credit card, or bank account. Usually it's extra money that you're paying if it's a loan or a credit card. In terms of a bank account, it's money that's paid to you. It's based on three things. The first one is called the principal, which is the initial amount of money borrowed or put into the bank account. The second one is the rate, which is really your percent. It's also called the interest rate. And the third is the length of time that the loan is taken out for, and that has to be done in years. So our formula that we use for these is I equals PRT. Interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. All right, so let's take a look and see how this works. So Larry invests $100 in a savings plan. The plan pays 4.5% interest each year on his $100 account balance. How much money will Larry earn in interest after 3 years? So here's our rate, here is our P, our principal, and T, our 3 is our T. So we're going to start by doing our formula, I equals PRT. We're looking for interest, so we have $100, and just like before, my percent has to be turned into a decimal, so it's 0.045. times 3 years, because you get that interest every single year that the money is in that account. So that will give me $13.50. How much money will he earn in interest after 5 years? So we have, again, I equals PRT. Our principal and our rate did not change. The only part that's changing is our 5 years. So when I put that into my calculator, we're getting $22.50. How can you find the balance of Larry's account at the end of 5 years? So again, what's happening is that you still keep your $100 that's in there, but now he's getting an extra $22.50. So in order to figure out how much he has in the account, we're going to add those two things together. $122.50. All right, number 2. Find the balance of a savings account at the end of 10 years. So balance means that they want interest plus your principal. All right, so I got to find the interest first. So we know our T is 10 years. We have our interest rate is 7.5, and our principal is 500. So we're going to do I equals PRT. And we're going to do, our principal is 500, our rate is 0.075, and it's for 10 years. We're going to multiply those all together. And we're getting an interest of $375. But again, that's not how much we have in the account. In the account, we're going to have our $500 plus our $375, which means this is now your account balance, $875, because you get both of those. Okay, let's talk. So this one now is also a savings bond, which is a type of bank account. So a $1,000 savings bond earns simple interest at a rate of, so here's our principal, at a rate of 3%. The interest is paid at the end of each month. How much interest will the bond have earned after 3 months? Well, 3 months has to be turned into a year. So 3 months is 3/12 of a year, which is the same as 0.25. You can put it in either way. So I equals PRT. Principal is 1,000. Interest is 0.03. And our time is 0.25 of a year. So we have 1,000 times 0.03 times 0.25. So we're getting $7.50 in interest, and that's what they asked for. How much interest will the bond have earned? They didn't want the balance like they did in question number 2. So Always making sure we're answering the question that was asked. Mrs. Williams wants to know how long it will take an investment of $450 to earn $200 in interest. So here's our P, here's our I. So now they're going to ask us to work this formula backwards. Here's our rate. We're looking for our time. We don't know what that is. So I equals PRT. So our interest, we want $200 in interest. Our principal is $450. Our rate is 0.065, and we're trying to find T. So I'm going to multiply the 450 and the 0.065 together first, and that gives me 2925 T. So to get T by itself, I have to divide because they're being multiplied. So 200 divided by 2925 is going to give me, so I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. Just was trying to read to see if it asked, but it's going to take 6.8 years in order to get there. Okay. In a situation where you are given the values for the simple interest earned on an investment, the principal invested, and the rate, explain how you would find the value of T in years. So you're going to divide the interest by principal times rate. Times the rate. Okay, and I think that's about it. So tomorrow we'll work on the practice then, but any questions, bring them to class.